welcome back to Breakfast Central. Wednesday's defection of the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Oborevwori, his predecessor and vice presidential candidate of the PDP in the 2023 election, and the party structure of the PDP in Delta State to the All Progressives Congress has been generating reactions. News Central's correspondent Austin Audu is following this development and now tells us more.
In the face of the unresolved crisis in the PDP at the national level, a key reason given for the defection, and despite having controlled Delta State for 26 years, Charles Aniago, the State Commissioner for Works, Railroads and Public Information, stated that the new direction is aimed at enhancing the state's development.
The one and the decision we have taken today will help us to be able to effectively deliver more on the promises that our governor and our people have made to advance the course of development in our dear state.
The National Vice Chairman of Labour Party South Zone, Anthony Ezeagu, however, believes the defections are driven by personal interest. Ezeagu maintains that the defections may not necessarily translate to electoral success for the APC, citing potential crisis within the party in the coming days.
It's not going to be Huru, because if you look at it, you will see that just give them like 6 months, you will see the war. Remember that most of them who left PDP before now and went to APC because they were not finding it easy. They were quarreling, problems here and there. This man not agreeing with this one not agreeing with this one. And at the end of the day, you packed your bag and baggages and go to meet the same man that you quarreled with, that left you and went there. So at the end of the day, that will show you that there's not going to be peace there.
Some residents in the state also had opinions about the defections.
If everybody is defecting to APC, it means that the democracy is not really working, because PDP will not have any good contenders to contend with the ruling party. So we are stuck with APC for life. And so if they continue doing a bad job, we can't vote them out because there's nobody coming from PDP.
Choice. Before you make a choice, there will be reason before a choice is made. So he made a choice for a good reason, and we are hoping that the good reason will benefit the state.
There's a need to divert to APC now, because we have seen that the president is doing some meaningful innovation.
Some respondents anticipate that the governor will enhance his APC connections to resolve insecurity challenges facing farmers in the state and advance the state's development. In Asaba for News Central, Austin Audu.
Austin Audu is, of course, following the story that has caused political tremors shaking Delta State and beyond. And of course, have been reactions pouring in following the defection of Governor Sheriff Oborevwori and former Governor Ifeanyi Okowa from the PDP to the APC. Now, this shift has left many asking, what does this mean for the political landscape in Nigeria? This morning, we'll be joined to have this conversation by the convener, APC Rebirth Movement, Dr. Aliyu Audu. Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us on the show this morning. All right, just to mention that we have, of course, been following up with this story and what this means for the opposition. What does this mean for democracy in Nigeria? Is it that much of a big deal? Many have said that Nigeria is becoming a one-party state, as we've started to see defections, not just from the All Progressives, not just from the People's Democratic Party to the APC, but we've even seen the Labour Party. Some people move from Labour Party to the APC. In Delta State, of course, we have the most recent defections. And we're joined this morning by the convener, APC Rebirth Movement, Dr. Aliyu Audu. Good morning, Dr. Audu. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
All right. Your thoughts on the defections that have happened, the most recent ones that have made the headlines. Of course, they're not the first. There have been a number of defections that have happened in the past few months, but the most recent ones would be the one that happened in Delta State, the governor of Delta State, the former governor of Delta State, and several other political leaders that have moved from the People's Democratic Party to the APC. And Nigerians are saying that the country is gradually becoming a one-party state. And I want your reaction to that.
I don't think it's is there anything true to say the country is becoming a one-party state? If you look at the trajectory of PDP in Delta State, it all started under the leadership of the 99 executive governor of the state, Chief Ibori, and you understand the relationship between him and the current president when they were all governors back in 99, and despite being governors on different political parties, they've maintained mutual respect and solid relationship from then till date. And in all honesty, there hasn't been a party that for 10 years straight in government, has maintained consistency in terms of value, in terms of growth, in terms of national inclusion and national development. Like, the leadership of APC in the last 8 years and the current 2 years ongoing under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And for those who understand what governance is and those who understand what politics is, they understand that Mr. President is heading in the right direction. They are aware of the difficulties, no doubt, but they can glean into the future of what is to come from all of this reform, and they are completely at home with it. And part of where they can support that is ensuring that they move along with the president on the same political party and deliver more for their people and for the nation.
Now, Dr. Audu, there's a school of thought that believes these defections are just based on political opportunism and selfish interest by some of these parties. Senator, the former governor of Edo State, Adams Oshiomhole, once said that once you move to the APC, your sins are forgiven. And we've seen a number of individuals that had cases with the EFCC. Once they moved to the APC, we heard little or nothing about those cases. And Governor Okowa, for example, is currently answering questions with the EFCC. And some analysts have said, this is one of the reasons why he's defected to the APC, to provide cover. How do you respond to such people who make this sorts of statements?
I don't have to respond. It's their opinion. It doesn't make it fact. It's funny because when you look at the list of people facing trials with EFCC, you find out that they cut across parties. Recently we understand. We remember the drama between former governor of Kogi State, who is an active member of the APC and the EFCC. So that's I don't know where whoever is making such statement want to place that.
So which of the former governors of Kogi State are you referring to, just to be clear?
Former Governor Yahya Bello.
And
his APC.
Yeah, and I don't know that anything substantial has become of the case yet. That's part of the criticism. A certain politician did say at some point that if you come to the APC, your sins are forgiven. His name just slipped.
Adams Oshiomhole.
Yeah. So you would see that I don't know if you then understand why Nigerians have the concern that if people keep moving, we find that sometimes it's a media trial. There's really nothing concrete that becomes of it at the end of the day. The case you've just made reference to now, the former Kogi State governor, it feels like it's been a media trial and that there's nothing substantial that has come out of it.
I work in the presidency, the executive arm of government, so whatever is before the judiciary, you have to take it up with the judiciary, but I'm not one of those who don't believe in the country, and I'm not one of those who don't believe in the system, and I'm not one of those who don't believe in any of the arms of government. I do believe in all of this, and I understand that trials, it isn't never overnight. It takes months, it takes years. The fact that you're not hearing anything on it does not mean nothing is happening. And in any case, we've seen people move in opposite direction and there was no such noise. Why that now?
So, Dr. Audu, what do you think it's so attractive about the APC brand that Nigerians are moving in their droves, despite the prevailing economic realities?
I'll give you an example to answer that question. When the APC was formed, the pride of the amalgamation at the time was Lagos state government. People look at what has happened in Lagos between 1999 and 2013 when APC was formed. And if you look at the last 12 years, what has happened between 2013 and 2025, in Lagos, the question is there. The question you're asking has its answer written all over that. Progress is why people move. We've had to run a democracy where governance is based on sentiments and emotion and no application of knowledge. For the very first time at the national level, we are having to, dig deep, bring out the resilience in us individually and collectively to align with moving our current state to where we want it to be in the future. And that is basically contained in all of the reforms that Mr. President is undertaking. The international communities are taking note. The macroeconomic indices shows that yes, all this are going to are going to yield the right result at the right time. And people who already see all of this, are aligning, and I don't see anything wrong with that. If you think something is so good, then you expect it to attract others. Because I know what I have is good, and it's attracting others. I don't have a problem with it. It's for people who do not invest in what they have. When we started the APC Rebirth some years back, we made it known that, we understand that most political parties within the country have had issues of not sticking to their for foundation ideals. And what we did within the APC is to try and push the leaders to allow for internal party democracy. And that has yielded results. The emergence of the current president is as a result of, party doing what needed to be done. And the fact that that has given us good standing among other political parties, and we now attract the members of the other party, does not seem like a surprise to me.
So you genuinely believe that the reason they're moving is because they believe in the leadership of the current administration that is making life better for Nigerians? Is that what you're arguing? Your argument is?
Oh, sure. There's no doubt about that. Why else do they move?
The World Bank estimates that in 2024, approximately 49.9% of Nigerians lived below the international poverty line of $2.15 per day. And this figure is projected to rise to 52.7% by 2027. They're projecting a rise in poverty levels. These are the statistics. And if you speak with the everyday Nigerian, they will say to you that they do not feel the impact of what the policies are having in their lives. As a nation that is largely dependent on oil, we still see the fluctuating, the unstable economy, and Nigerians are complaining about the quality of life. So how do you juxtapose the reality of the everyday Nigerian to what you're saying about how these politicians can see a leadership that is doing well for Nigerians? How do you juxtapose this, opposing realities?
All right, without trying to, I'm trying to put it in proper perspective in such a way that it doesn't seem like I am not recognizing the current economic realities. But I don't think anybody ever expects any good to come without some pain. That's a fact. We've lived in a country where we've deceived ourselves for too many years. I am not a citizen who wishes to be deceived by the leaders. I do not think we need to create an environment where people go to school. Most times they need to make calls, they need to beg for admission, they need to call people to help with admission, call to help exam, call to pass exam. We cannot build a lasting economy, a sustainable economy, the way we have always done things. Something's got to give, and we are at a point where that thing that's going to give is finally given. And we have a president who understands that we must pass through this to be where we want to be. And he's done everything possible to achieve that. And he has a track record. This track record is visible to anybody who is knowledgeable enough. We are very educated, but we don't apply the knowledge. Because if we apply knowledge largely in this country, we will appreciate what Mr. President has done. I mean, we all did basic economics in school. For those who went as far as, studying development economy, we understand what our problems have been, and we understand what needed to have been done. And it is now being done now. Do we think our years of wastage will not come back to bite us? How could we have gone through those years of having so much money and, spending it on yachts, private jet, expensive trip, importing everything and crashing down our local economy? And we think turning it around is going to come, easy and without pain. No, I don't think we want to raise a generation who believe good comes easy. You will have to bear the pain, and that's exactly where we are. And I think Nigerians largely are in the know of that because they do not want a handout economy, because we have tried that for so long and it has not given us any results. So let's try an economy that is built on our knowledge, built on our abilities in such a way that every single Nigerian has the ability to live his dream without sacrificing that for the sake of just making a living. And for that to happen, there's going to be a period of cooking, and that's where we are. And it's going to be hot in the kitchen while you're cooking.
Dr. Audu, if I may come in here, sir.
It doesn't mean that you will not look forward to the food being served when it is ready. So for those who understand, what's being done, they can perceive the aroma of the cooking food. They understand what is being done. They understand what the result is going to be. You brought record about World Bank projection. It is nothing but projection. Same World Bank has many times.
But when the World Bank says positive things about the APC administration,
the president has.
When the World Bank says positive things about the APC administration, the government and its handlers are quick to put it out as part of their scorecards. But let me take you up on some of the things you said. You said that there's a period of cooking. These are successive APC governments. President Buhari was an APC president. He ruled for 8 years, and now we're almost in the second year of the Tinubu administration, and you're saying 8 years of wastage. Some of those things you call wastage is still happening right now. Just, I believe it was yesterday or recently in the House of Representatives, Rep. El-Rufai did talk about wastage. Every year, government agencies budget new cars and new furniture allowance and new cutlery, and these things don't expire. The president we used billions to renovate the vice president's residency. The president made a purchase of a yacht. He's traveling. He's been out of the country. He's gone to France 5 different times. And ordinary Nigerians understand that, look, we need to make sacrifices. But their belief is that the government and those leaders, the senators, are not tightening their belts. It's only Nigerians that have to bear the brunt. You still see long convoys of government officials, and the optics don't look good. It looks like these people are feeding fat off our commonwealth, and that's the reality most Nigerians see. So how do you respond to them and saying that, we have to tighten our belt and good things are coming when the government on its part is not tightening its belt?
All right, first to correct you, I didn't say 8 years of wastage of APC, because between 2015
you didn't say specifically, but looking at our past, it means the APC was also part of the wastage. I think it's just logical.
Prior to that, I made mention of the 10 years, 8 years of Buhari and 2 years of president being a period of turning things around. Prior to 2015, I don't know how very knowledgeable about national economy you were at the time. Globally, locally, everybody knew we are headed for serious disaster. Between 2006 and 2012, the sheer amount of money that this country generated from export of crude oil would have been able to position our economy for a long time. But what did we get under the PDP administration? Wastage. So much waste that the then coordinating Minister of Economy and Minister of Finance, Dr. Okonjo-Iweala, and the then CBN Governor, Dr. Lamido Sanusi, His Excellency, His Royal Highness, repeatedly said on national television and even on international platforms that the wastage we were doing at the time was going to come back to bite us in the future. But a lot of people didn't think it would happen. It is happening, and we have to face it. So it is not strange if we really have logic and we really are honest with ourselves. It is not strange that we are having to block loopholes. We are having to block leakages. We are having to improve on the way we do things. We are having to go for efficiency and effectiveness in terms of national management of our economy. And that is going to take a while. But before the microeconomic indices start coming in as to the part that affect the lives of individuals, you are going to have to look at how well you're doing from the macroeconomic indices. Those who design global economy, those are the indices. When we went to school, those are the things we learn. We are not going to start crying today and forget everything we've learned just because we think it is. This hard period I expected, especially when you did not put your actions right in the first place. So you're going to turn around. Do I believe that Nigeria will become poorer in 2027? No, I don't. And I'll tell you why. From before the COVID, a lot of projections of World Bank that spelled doom for Nigeria have almost always been defied. This isn't going to be an exception, because I am confident that, with everything that we have in terms of results from the larger economic policies of Mr. President, the moment Nigerians align and understand what economy really is and how they are supposed to get involved and play their part. I mean, we have the tax reform coming up. We have the local government autonomy that Mr. President is pushing. Then we have the energy crisis that is being resolved from, removing energy production, transmission, and distribution from being a federal government activity to the point where anybody, anywhere can generate, transmit, and distribute energy.
Right.
Once that kick in and we can all generate enough energy for our use and stimulate the economy, jobs will be created, wealth will be created, and economy will be able to economy will thrive, and not just thrive, but sustainably thrive, which is what we need to do. Build an economy that does not need help, that does not need assistance every now and then. We are a part of a global activity. So anything that happens in the world will affect us. But if we do not build enough resilience for our economy in such a way that we can have, shock absorbers when these things happen, it is always going to hit us, and we are always going to be subject to what happens on the international scene, which is totally out of our control. But at the rate we are going, we are making our economy internationally competitive. We are making our economy in such a way that we have the numbers. We have over 230 million active Nigerians, Go anywhere in the world. Nigerians are very active in every sense. Nigerians are doing well in the other state, in the other countries that they go. Why are we not doing well at home? It is simply because we have not been able to replicate or improve on the kind of environment that those people put in their places to attract our people. The United States, Canada, China, Europe, they've gone through this stage. Most recently, we have the India economy going through this stage. What was the other economy from the eastern part of the world? It is not new. We will go through this, and when we come out at the other side of it,
I mean, 2020.
We're proud to have gone through this. That is how
2027 is really just.
It is never ended.
2027 is just around the corner. It's just in 2 years, really. So it's not like we're talking about some distant future. And I hear you about, the statement by Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala.
Say that again. I didn't get that.
I said the good thing is that 2027 is not in some distant future. It's just in 2 years. So regardless of what the IMF says or what our projections are or our hopes are, the results will speak for themselves. In another 2 years, we'll see exactly where we are as a nation. And I hear you regarding the criticism of previous administrations. I think what my colleague was alluding to is the fact that it's not possible to say that we made poor choices without the APC in some measure taking accountability for it, because the APC in its campaign said they would build off where President Muhammadu Buhari left off. And he also had 8 years to maybe have made different choices that would have led us down a different trajectory. And he didn't make these choices. But I want us to move away from economy and now talk a little about politics. You are the convener of APC Rebirth. What is APC Rebirth about?
Like I said earlier, I mean, it is basically trying to get our party to be the progressive political institution that it's supposed to be, that gives opportunity to every and any Nigerian, irrespective of their social background or, I mean, all of the lines that have been used to discriminate against people. I mean, we've been around in this country where governors, you know, literally hand over seats, you know, to whoever they feel they want to succeed them. And in most cases, they've all now to turn, you know, not good for them and not good for the nation and not good for the state. You know, in a very healthy democracy, where internal democracy is respected, where party rules are supreme, where every member is treated same and fair, you know, you find out that people are able to make choices even internally, you know, without being influenced or being, you know, coerced into any decision. That will, you know, restore the very essence of democracy, which is freedom to choose. You know, I mean, we can look at it from the larger side, that to general election, but the real target starts from the internal party activities. We need to be able to build an APC that attracts the best of Nigerians. Clearly, we have understood that our problems are not because we have problems that are insurmountable. It's simply because we have been able over the years, across parties, I'm not saying just one party now, across party, we have, you know, pushed people into political position who do not understand what leadership is, who do not think our problems are surmountable. And what they've done is get into offices and try to shield themselves from the very same problem they are supposed to solve for the larger society, forgetting that they are going to return to the larger society. And after 4 or 8 years, when they return, they start speaking a different tune, which is exactly what you hear from largely 99% of those people calling themselves oppositions today. They've all had the opportunities to be in power, you know, and they forgot that today was going to come. On the other side, when you look at the current president and you look at his political journey, you know, he started from a regional party that faced a lot of challenges in 2003 when the then president and the then ruling national government, I mean, abused power so much so that they forcefully took election from states in the southwest, leaving southwest with only one AD state, 2003, the one led by the current president at the time. He started from that and built back the regional structure, built a regional party that was stable enough to do coalition with another regional party regional parties from across the country. And in 2015, it was successful. What I'm saying here is, if a party is built on ideology, nothing says they have to be 100%. I mean, there's still going to be improvement. We are still going to keep, you know, improving on how we do things and what we do. But we must understand that leadership is basically to reposition a country so that the average Nigerian has a life to live. You know, but if we keep having the wrong set of people, if we keep having people who are not leader material, people who are not, who don't have the quality to lead, who only are about how much they can amass for themselves and for their family, such always run out. And when they run out, they are hit with reality. But we need a leader that can solve our societal problem in such a way that the simplest person in the society, the lowest person in society, feel protected by the government, feel protected by the country. That is where pride of patriotism, that's where pride of being a member of a country comes in. And this does not happen unless we have a system, you know, at the party level that takes seriously, you know, all of his promises, all of his manifestos, all of his founding values and ideals. And the only way to do that is to have a number of people within the party who will serve as voice of reason, that will always remind some of our leaders, like, these were the things we promised, these are the things we wanted to do. Can we go do it the way it ought to be done and the right way? That is what APC Rebirth is about. It's about returning APC to its founding values and its founding foundation that attracted many of us into it. And when we do that, we have no doubt that we are going to attract many more people who have the quality to lead us as a nation into prosperity.
As a follow-up question, and thank you for setting that foundation, but as a follow-up to that, I'm asking because I want to find out what exactly the ideology for the APC is. And if there are concerns that there's been a huge influx of politicians from other political parties, people who, as recently as a year, 2 years ago, were strongly against a President Tinubu presidency, but they're now aligning themselves with the president. Is there a vetting process for, analyzing or allowing those who would qualify to be part of the APC? Or is it really a situation of the more the merrier? And do you worry that there might be a conflict of ideologies, seeing as these people were opposition that are now coming to be a part of the party?
I get you. I hear what you're saying, but unfortunately, the way the Constitution is written, you do not have the right to deny anybody association. It's protected by the Constitution as a political party, except, of course, the person is constitutionally barred from partisan affiliation. On the side of being influenced, we should remember that the party, APC, was formed from the amalgamation of the Action Congress of Nigeria, the All Nigeria People's Party, All Progressive Grand Alliance, and, after formation towards election, a sizable part of PDP joined. At the time, a lot of people were worried that, if, this association of different people, is going to give us the desired result. But, like life generally, time heals and time prepares. So with time, we have seen those that have come and gone. What it tells you is that, stay focused on what you're doing. People who will come. But those who will stay are those who really believe in what you're about and what you're doing. And you're going to get results. And that's where I think APC is. It's not perfect. It's not where it is. We are not even bothered us about the wrong people we attract. We are more interested in attracting the right one. Because we know that even if it's one candle of light, the amount of darkness that it chases cannot be measured. So for that reason, we are not going to concentrate on, that would be nothing fair as to someone coming to corrupt what you have. No, we rather draw strength from, our resolve, to ensuring that we build a party. It's not going to happen overnight. This party is about 12 years now. It's not where we want to be yet, but it's work in progress. And we've seen reason that we are not where we were yesterday. And that's exactly what life generally is about. It's okay. Improvement is incremental. It's not going to happen overnight. It's incremental. For as long as we put in the effort, as long as we believe in God, we believe in ourselves, and we believe in diligence.
Thank you, Dr. Audu. Just before, because of time constraints, apologies for interrupting. Because of time constraints, and we're about to wrap up this conversation, you said change, it's slow, and then that Nigerians, APC has done the job over the years to make sure that we have a better future. Next month, we'll make it 2 years of the Tinubu administration, and collectively 10 years of APC administration. I don't think it's right to go back as far as 10 years to blame PDP for anything going forward. We've crossed that bridge. The World Bank has projected poverty to rise in Nigeria by an increase of 3.6% by 2027. And you've said APC's that we have to go through this trying period for a brighter future. When does this, what's your message to Nigerians that are watching this program this morning? How long do they have to tighten their belt? And when do we begin to see positive results of all these policies that you say, wonderful policies in your words, that you say Mr. President has put forward?
All right. Let me start from the low-hanging fruit, the quick ones, like the tax reforms. We have had to deal with this tax, for decades, cutting way back before the independence. And we are cleaning that up. Mr. President has an idea of what the tax system for a country that is interested in being globally competitive economically should be. And the quick wins I can tell you from tax, we're looking at a tax proposal that's going to reduce significantly tax burden on maybe about 50 or more % of the working class of Nigeria. That's a lot. And what that means is it's going to leave some more money in the hands of the people, to spend. And we have the local government autonomy that the moment it sails through, it's going to create activity in 774 local governments across the nation at a speed that we have never seen before. Why do I have confidence in this? I grew up in Lagos. I was in Lagos before the current president became governor, and I understand I remember the war he went through for the local council development authority that he created, LCDAs. And I know how that has, fastened development into interior part of Lagos. Literally, as we speak, a lot of people will tell you there is no part of Lagos that seems like a village right now. That happened because the current president took government closer to the people. And when that happens, it means that even a bad government that spends money recklessly will have to spend it within its environment. Some people will benefit. It's simply a combination of a lot of policies that are in place that gives us hope that things are going to get better, because we have looked at where things get better. This is not to say that we are going to have things, changing prices without any reason for it. In agriculture, in the last 8 years, there's been a lot of investment into agriculture, and the last 2 years isn't any different. And we can see, like the World Bank will agree, that our agricultural output has increased, our agricultural export has increased. And, it might be likely, if you look at things, we've gone to the market, there's been a lot of survey by media houses between November and this year. There's been a slight reduction, and in most cases, stability in terms of prices.
So, Dr. Audu, are you saying that? Are you saying in few words?
A bit of stability.
Dr. Audu, are you saying that by 2027, you expect that there will be a different tone? Because we have to wrap up now, we're out of time.
Oh yeah, I'm confident that before the end of this year, as a matter of fact, Nigerians will start feeling the impact. It is the good thing about
it is in our best interest, really.
The reform is being holistic in its impact.
It is in our best interest, really. Every Nigerian, it is in our best interest that everything that you've said in terms of your projections for what we should expect come to pass, because the truth is, when Nigeria works, it benefits all of us. So we want to see a better Nigeria where the average Nigerian can have a decent quality of life. Dr. Audu, thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. We appreciate your time.
Thank you very much. And I would like to always enjoin us to remind ourselves that, like the scriptures say it, if we do not believe, we will not experience. We need to believe and put in the work. We will get results.
Whilst I agree with that, some people will respond to you and say hope is not a strategy. But that's another conversation for another day. Dr. Audu, thank you for your time with us.